Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month edition of the StarCraft Evolution League, SEL number 8. Your monthly dose of StarCraft Evolution StarCraft content. Here we go. I'm of course your side VIP with you. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. If you are interested, exclamation mark be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourself. The bracket is massive, the bracket is stacked. The bracket honestly was daunting. It was a daunting bracket. There are so many big names, players playing StarCraft Evolution for the first time as well. Some big Korean names, might I add. But we are jumping into our first series of the night. We are jumping into our PvZ and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines. We have the SC2 Zerg player. It is GgMaChine. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brood War Protoss, the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as you can get your Gamba going. Coming into this, of course, if you are unfamiliar with StarCraft Evolution, if you haven't seen this before, Paki, where have you been? I recommend the VODs on YouTube. We have plenty of StarCraft Evolution content on our YouTube channel, as this is a mod that brings together StarCraft 2 and Brood War. Brood War has been ported over, has been changed and balanced and adapted, as well as the maps as well, and now we have 6 races. We have 3 SC2 races and 3 Brood War races. The way this works is that we do force Brood War versus SC2. The game is not balanced for Brood War versus Brood War. It is solely balanced for StarCraft 2 versus StarCraft 2 instead. Sorry, for StarCraft 2 versus Brood War instead. And as a result, that is what we force here and now. So we have SKillous opening up with this 2-gate opener, 2-gate Zealot opener here by SKillous. Likewise, GgMaChine back at home, Hatch Gas Pool standard opener out of our Zerg player. Here we go. And I'll be honest, it's been too long. We've been hosting some show matches here and there, and StarCraft Evolution used to be a bi-weekly, but nowadays is a monthly tournament instead, so we don't get as much SEL as we used to, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Do appreciate it, as here we go, the initial Zealots are moving out. Something else to appreciate, of course, is that the models are unique. We have our unique Zealot models here, just power walking across the map. Let's go! From Brood War side of things, same with unique assimilators. We have, of course, the Brood War Nexus, the workers, all things Brood War. And the mineral patches are brighter as well. And if you notice, but they're not as dark blue. They're a bit of a lighter tone of blue as opposed to what you're used to. More of a pastel blue, if you will. As usual, Zealots have arrived. Zealots pick in. They get 1 drone kill so far good damage. They get drone, they get a Ling, they dive on the Queen. Ooh, and GgMaChine is in a bit of trouble here. The first 2 Zealots are getting a lot of damage done, bearing in mind we're rallying out a 3rd Zealot across the map. Yes, 4th Zealot as well. And with the early Zealot rush, we are in a bit of trouble here, but the 2nd Queen has arrived. So far so good, only losing 1 drone so far. Minimal losses, minimal damage, and GgMaChine, he's holding. He is holding on. He's going to surround the first Zealot. First Zealot goes down. There's 3 Zealots left. And with Soul Kiting with control, GgMaChine, he survives, he holds. He does defend. Now, this did force out a lot of Lings. A lot of Lings were forced out. A drone was killed. Outside of that, GgMaChine does deflect, and Skills is working on that next step. What are we going for? We're going for, oh my god, a double Stargate. Now, I should emphasize, before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Holy Lime 23 in the chat. Gab, I've been gone for over 2 years. Over 2 years of support, 25 months with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support in the chat. As Skillous, he's massing up more and more Zealots, and there is a bonus here in this month's tournament. It's similar to the SE2 Monday Night Weekly, wherein in Monday Night Weeklies, there is a bonus for Zerg players and how well they perform. Here in this month's tournament, there's a bonus for players that use Scouts. Scouts are very underutilized in this matchup. They have recently been buffed, and the creators of the mod, they want to see what the new Scout looks like. It has been buffed, it has been improved, and they want to see how it compares, but players aren't using it, players aren't making it, but now they're incentivized to make them. Oh my god. As Zealots get a surround, they collapse on top of these Zealots. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the Zealots going to be going down. The 3rd base is safe, but now we're going into mass scout. Let's go. And GgMaChine does scout. He does confirm what's going on. He scouts the scouts. Let's go. Lings, they gain map control. They're moving out. We have +1 attack on the way, but last SKillous, he is trapped here. And without Dragoons, these gateways are exposed. Ooh, going straight Zealot into Scouts. I'm not so sure we can get away with this. Scout does have anti-ground. It's not as powerful. No, this is the wall's open. The wall is wide open. Lings, they flood in. And before the Scouts can get underway, the mineral line is under fire. Mineral line is exposed. As Lings, they do rush in. Huh. They rush into the bases. Going for the pylon. Looking to be depowered the Stargates. Uh-oh. Yeah, they're going to be depowered. The pylon is under fire. Pylon is going to fall. Depowers everything in the main. The Artosis pylon, no. Now, thankfully, SKillous, he will survive this. And again, he is still making those scouts. He wants that bonus back. He does want that bonus. Now, scouts, how do they work here for Brood War Protoss? Now, they don't have the best anti-air. That's where the Corsair comes in. Like, Corsair have like better singular anti-air damage. They also have their own spells with Disruption Web. Here, we can see those scouts. They can fare quite well here when it comes to their own anti-air. We're hunting down some overlords. Likewise, the anti-ground attack has been improved. It was very, very it wasn't really too much of a factor previously where it would just tickle units like a sentry almost, but nowadays it does do more anti-ground damage, and as a result is more effective to harass. And there it is. Ooh. As we are able to two-shot workers. Alas, the first worker does survive. I say two shots, I guess in a way three shots. Sarah does back off, gets another overlord. Second overlord does go down. More sorry, I think I said Corsair. More scouts on the way. Corsair slash, yeah, that's it. In my mind, it was the other way around, but yes. Scouts are single target damage. Corsair's AoE. Meanwhile, Lings, they do try to nibble away at that third base. Likewise, fourth being taken. Can we force a cancel? We're getting there. The base is taking some damage. Queens are forced to respond. And with help of the transfuse, with help of all these queens, I believe GgMaChine should be able to hold on. It should hold, should defend. Behind the skills, transitioning into Charge Archon. Double Archives on the way. Charge alongside it. As things, they just keep poking in. As the shield battery does fall. Taking the pylon, striking the probe. GgMaChine poking in. Likewise, behind this, going into Ling Hydra. Oof. Once again, that was a kill as well. Ay. Yeah, brutal damage. Lings, they flood forward, past the cannon, into the mineral line. And we do see once again a full scout. We at least confirm no more splash damage. Sorry, no more anti-air, right? There's no more anti-air required as there's no more scouts production. More Lings flooding forward, getting us around. The Storm is on the way, as we did mention. Into Archons, into Storm. And SKillous, he's holding his own. Does hold, does defend. Scouts, oh, they can maybe get a queen? Maybe. They at least get overlords. Oh, as they are gonna nibble away at the mineral line. There we go, 3 workers going down. SKillous getting some value here. Meanwhile, I was about to say that now that we've recognized that it is going to be Charge Archon and Storm, ideally Banelings would be required. Baneliness is on the way, so we have GgMaChine embracing Lingbane Hydra. And a lot of this will come down to the engagements. The positioning of the Storms, the setups of the surrounds, the arcs as well. As Scouts, they get 3 more workers. Oh, getting a 4th. Now, what I will say, thankfully, the scouts themselves are quite tanky. They're quite tanky, so they take a lot of damage, take a lot of hits. They poke in, they get a couple of workers here and there. Nothing major. There's no major burst damage and no major, 8, 9, 10 worker kills. But over time, they're gaining value. Over time, they're doing well for themselves. Playing Hydra moving forward. As SKillous trying to transition into Dragoons here at the same time. Oh my god! Yeah, German taxi coming in. 1 queen does fall. GgMaChine, he's committed. He's not droning. He's not droning his 4th base. He's going for a 3-base all-in. 64 workers, that's all he has. His supply block he's massing up. Ling, Bane, Hydra, Queen. He's going for the kill. Now, thankfully, Storm is done. Storm is done, but High Templar, they need more time. Remember, there is no NG overcharge. But there is 1 Storm. Currently, 1 Storm, about to be 2. There's the first Storm. Nice splits here from GgMaChine. Collapses on High Templar. 2nd Storm. Banelings are waddling in. Oh, that Storm was brutal. A lot of Banelings do go down prematurely. Archon shots going off on those Banelings. SKillous trying to fight as best he can, but the last of 3rd base is still being broken. Yeah, the High Templar go down, the Archons as well, and GgMaChine, he is overwhelming. Dragoons aren't quite ready for this. Again, still no Dragoon range. More High Templar coming in, the Queens are getting caught out, no transfuse. And SKillous holds. SKillous is holding on with these reinforcements. Yo, with the scouts. Does hold on, does survive, and maintains his 4th base. So even though he did lose his main army, and that was an expensive trade. Remember, particularly checking the units also tab, it's 2 High Templar and 3 Archons. These are expensive losses here. Of course, SKillous did lose workers as well, but saves the expansion. Saves the 3rd base, saves the 4th base, can still make 4 probes at a time. SKillous is resaturating, redroning, and now suddenly GgMaChine is in a worse position. Suddenly, we're not taking into Lurkers, we're not taking into Hive, we're staying on Lair Tech, Lingbane Hydra. And the economy is lackluster as well. So SKillous is very much so in this game. And GgMaChine is still not droning. It looks like he's getting ready for a 2nd all-in. This time with Baneling speed. And let's have a look at our storms here. They're just barely ready. Looks like we're about to have 4. Soon to be 5. That's a lot of storm. I'll be honest, I don't think GgMaChine can break this. Not anymore. It's taking too long. And now he's droning. And these drones are late. These workers are late. Infestation bit very late as well. Looks like he's recognized that he has to start taking up. But this is so heavily delayed. And as time goes on, SKillous looking stronger and stronger. Throwing down cannons, more shield batteries. Setting up here at the center expansion. Scouts, they're still popping off. Not bad. In total, they've gotten 12 drone kills. That's something. I like my SKillous splitting up his High Templar, getting ready for those storms. We'll see how quickly he can react. Uh-oh. Jesus. As Lingbane does dive in, and we do connect. Oh my god, the High Templar go down! Storms are good, but not in time. Yeah, the main army does fall. They're now going to be zoning away. SKillous is down to 2 High Templar. That's all he has left. 2 High Templar. 1 storm remaining. You know, High Templar earlier were just so exposed towards the top side. Zelromite catching reinforcements. Hydra's moving in, but there's still 1 storm. Yeah, there's still 1 storm left. Speaking of, up, he gets it. Oh my god. Mate, the burst damage of the storm is so brutal. Like, we saw it earlier on the Banelings. Here on the Hydras as well. It's insane. Like, the Hydras, they just got tased to death. It was crazy. Scout's finally going to be going down. Skills moving in. And gaining map control. Does gain map control. Oh. Drop into the main base. Remember, it's a shuttle, not a war prism, so no more reinforcements. Just these initial zealots. There's 3 shield batteries of Brood 1 and SC2. You have no manual target for the Brood War battery. I don't know if that's the case in this mod. I don't know if you can't manually target. But regardless, GG gets called as GgMaChine. He was all in. He was not set up for a longer game. And SKillous will take game number 1. Whew, GG. SKillous does take a lead in the series. Again, GgMaChine, he was going for all in after all in after all in. He was not set up for a longer game state. He did not drone. That first slow bane push needs to do more damage. But if you remember, that is when the storms popped off. I want to say half, if not 3/4 of the banelings did go down before any of them did detonate due to those storms. And with that, that first push, that first timing was stifled, was shut down, and SKillous held. SKillous, he held, he snowballed out of control. From there, GG well played. SKillous takes the lead. Now we are jumping into game number 2. Let's go. We're jumping into game 2 here. Get a very intense game, and for a lot of these PvZs we expect more Stargate based play, Stargate openers, and more scouts. Just to reiterate, there is currently a bonus similar to the bonus that there is for Zerg players in SC2 Monday Night Weeklies. Here there is a bonus for players that do incorporate scouts. The reasoning for this is because scouts are very underutilized and underrepresented, despite the fact that the creators of the mod have been actively buffing it. They've been actively buffing the scout and recognizing its flaws, recognizing its weaknesses, trying to improve it, and they want to see what its kind of game state looks like. There's not enough players using them, so they don't know if it's in a good place, if it needs to be buffed, if it needs to be nerfed, if it needs to be tweaked in some way, shape, or form. So for testing purposes, they want players to use the Scout a little bit more to get a better idea on where it's at. As we saw, the Scout can do quite well harassing. As we saw, I believe it takes 3 Scout shots to kill a drone, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 3 shots. They do tickle the queens, and the queens are looking quite robust against them, but there is definitely potential to scout at least to get some economic damage to zone away overlords. I do see a place for scout-based openers, but we'll see, as that was only the first game. We're getting into game number 2. Here we go. We don't see shield battery anywhere near as much in Brood War. We do see it relatively often in these Brood War games. The reasoning why you do see them more often, cannons and shield batteries I'm referring to, is because in Brood War you do lack mobility. You have no recall, you have no blink, you have no warp prism, you have no warp in mechanic. So static defense does play a big role in StarCraft Evolution or in Brood War because of that fact, because you do have to rely on side defense a little bit more at times to give you time to respond, to react. But here we go. We're getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have, I mean, like we saw shield batteries in the last game. Here, bottom right-hand corner, Whispers of Gold, we have the blue Protoss player. We have representing Team Liquid, once again, the Brood War Protoss. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg himself. The SC2 Zerg, it is GgMaChine. There is the recall in Brood War with the Arbiter. Yes, I did misspeak, but yes, we have seen that many, many times. But that is when it comes to like quote-unquote hive tech, or in a later game, that is when recalls become available. But referring to the early and mid game, it is not available. That is where map vision, positioning, and positional play does mean, or it is that much more important, I should say, in Brood War Protoss. So yes, so we are going to be settling in so far to get opener into Zealot. We need to watch more Atosa stream. We need to watch more StarCraft Evolution, Sounder. You're never there. Aye. Never there. So now we are going to be moving out. We have our results moving out. But yeah, some Arbiter tech isn't as, unfortunately, it's not as prevalent currently in StarCraft Evolution matches, at least not from what we've seen, whether it's in the SEL Championship or in our regular monthlies. I'll be honest, games are usually over before that. They're usually ending a little bit faster, but that's why I'm excited to dive into some of these other Terrans in the bracket. We'll get to the bracket after this match, don't you worry, we'll get there, and we'll go over some potential matchups. There's a lot coming. Oh, nice round! Oh, the Lings, they do get that surround on the first Zealot. First Zealot does fall. And with this, the initial Zealot aggression from SKillous is going to be less effective. The first Zealot does fall. If you recall, last game, we were able to get 1 drone kill, trade well against the Lings, but that is not the case this time. SKillous, he is stifled early on, has to back off. And we do see GgMaChine. Oh my god, he's going for the all-in. He's going for the Bane Bust. Bane Nest has been thrown down. Barely any saturation here for the Zerg player, and he's going to be flooding across the map. Does get another surround, trying to catch out some more of these Zealots. And alas, SKillous, he's denied the scout. He doesn't see the lack of saturation, lack of drones. He should recognize the abundance of Lings. But I am concerned here for SKillous. For now, still making more Zealots. Behind this, going for a Rover base opener, not a Stargate, not this time. And GgMaChine, he does keep moving out. That's a lot of Zealots. There are 5 Zealots here for SKillous. GgMaChine just commits. Nice positioning once again. It does keep those Zealots safe. What about back at home though? What about back across the map? Banelings are morphing in. Wall is looking solid. So far, so good. SKillous is racing back, and he will come across those Banelings. Uh-oh. GgMaChine. Up. Are they going to go up? They are. Oh my god, massive connection. Zealots go down, but the wall stands, and it's worth it. The wall is still standing strong. Shield batteries are on the way. And again, they should keep this wall solid, as they barely do keep the Zealot alive. Whew. does well off in time, does have those shield batteries, and with that SKillous, he's holding off for the time being. The Banelings can make short work of that first Zealot, but we have a secondary wall behind this. Here we have that secondary wall. The Cyber Core is getting low. Oh! Banelings crash in, they take down the Cyber Core, but Zealot production continues. Oh, we get us around! Oh, the wall's not a wall. Lings, they flood in. Last shield batteries do make sure the Zealots, they do not die. GgMaChine being a little bit cheeky here, but bearing in mind, GgMaChine is behind in the economy. He's all in. He needs more damage. Trying to break through. Banelings are spotted. At least the first two are. Banelings are spotted. So are the other two as well. So far, SKillous responding well. He defends. He holds. And one Baneling rolls in, but one Baneling is not going to be enough. Yeah, not good enough here. Oh! Oof. As it requires 2 to kill a worker. And with that, SKillous holds. SKillous does hold on. What's up with the shield batteries? This is Brood War Protoss, so a lot of these buildings have unique skins. They don't use... if they wanted to, they could use the same assets as the SC2 shield battery, but they go the extra mile to make their own custom assets, to make their own shield batteries, their own assimilators, their own buildings, to make it look different, as Brood War Protoss is not the same as SC2 Protoss. So just to make it more individualistic, if you will. And I appreciate the aesthetic. Do appreciate it. As back at home, GgMaChine trying to transition out of this is going to be droning. Lair is on the way. Meanwhile, SKillous following this up with Reaver drops. Oof. Yeah, the Reavers have arrived. Massive shots going off. So far, so good. For those that are curious how the shuttle works, the shuttle cannot warp in, like a warp prism, I should say, but the shuttle has been buffed in this version of the game, and the shuttle does have, I believe, 1 pickup range as opposed to 0. Typically in Brood War, you would have to be over the unit like a medevac to pick units up, but here I believe there is 1 extra range to allow you to have a little bit more leeway, a little bit more macro ability, a little bit more maneuverability. So I'll say do get across the map. Likewise, shots going up. Oof. Yeah, Lings, they can't really hold their own. But the prism, the shuttle does take too many hits. Yeah, shuttle's zone away. Reaver goes down, and GgMaChine, he holds. Whew. He does hold on. Does survive. Behind this, SKillous, I will say, still maintains a greater economy, and is now taking a 3rd. I'll say that SKillous is still in a better position, but GgMaChine, from one tech to the other, rushing into mutas. Okay, you have my attention. I mean, what I love about a muta response right now compared to what SKillous has to work with, where is the anti-air? We did not open Dragoon. We opened Zealots, so no Dragoons, no range. Likewise, Reavers don't shoot up. Zealots, they don't slice up either. There are going to be potentially Storms, don't get me wrong, as there are High Templar morphing in. There are going to be Archons, certainly, but not the most mobile of armies. Oof. As so far, SKillous has not scattered. He has not scattered, he does not know. Mutas are on the way. Mutas are morphing in. We're going to have defensive Archons somewhat. But again, that's all SKillous has to work with. No Stargate, no Scouts this time. Brutal units is usually stronger and harder to build up. Yes, as is being stated, brutal units, because there are less of them, are typically greater than their other counterparts. Is the case. Oh, as the prism does go down. Sorry, I should say shuttle. Shuttle does fall. Mutate the mineral line. Archon's trying to keep up, but again, there's nothing in position. And remember, there's no recall. There's no, I should say, base recall here available. Likewise, no warping mechanic. Probes are going down. We have 1 Archon here at the natural. Archon will zone away, and SKillous just rallies everything across the map. Does rally across. So I'll say shut down the Lings. A couple of Banelings do morph in. And with reinforcements, can we hold on? Even the Archon rallies across. Oh god, no! We come back too soon! No, we come back too soon. Probes are falling left and right. Archon moving in. Got 1 Archon holding its own, catching out those mutas. Dragoons are amassing. SKillous trying to switch into those Dragoons. That's already 14 probes going down. Oh, we're going for the Reaver. He gets it. Reaver falls. Meanwhile, that one Archon's still popping off, by the way. Oh my god. The boys are being pulled. Boys are pulled. More drones are falling. That's going to be 6 drone kills, and he's still popping off. More boys being pulled. Finally, the Archon's going to go down. Eventually, getting 9 drones. And with that, in a way, SKillous is holding on thanks to that counter damage. Likewise, GgMaChine doesn't have the best economy either. Corsair has arrived. Shield batteries coming into play. Nothing dies. Oh my god. Getting good use of the shield batteries. Does hold on to the natural. The third base is exposed though. No shield batteries. Uh-oh. One Dragoon goes down. Gets one. Oh my god, the Archon volleys are brutal though. Yeah, the Archon volleys are insane. That's a lot of mutas falling. The Archons are going uncontested. With that, SKillous does punish GgMaChine. And again, GgMaChine, he still hasn't been droning. He has 4 bases, but the saturation here is not really, it's lackluster. It's barely there. Mutas into the natural. Corsair's keeping up. Nice mutas, they try to collapse on top of that Corsair. Once again, bringing it down. Not bad. Corsair does fall. More workers going to be getting picked up. And SKillous, he just commits. I mean, we saw how much damage a handful of Zealots and 1 Archon did previously. Now what about 3 Archons? Like, there's not much at home to defend. There's going to be a couple of Aliens, but Aliens, they tickle Archons. And Aliens are not the answer here. They're going to be rolling in. How do we split? They do much up. Balings, they kill 1 Dragoon, and they get an Archon. Let's go. 1 Archon does fall. As Control pulls back the weakened Archon, they're getting low. They're getting low, but they stand strong, and with that SKillous, he breaks through. He overwhelms. 3 Archons, a couple of Zealots, 2 Stalkers is enough to break through. Back at home, we have a base trade. 28 probe kills. The economy is non-existent here for SKillous. Likewise, GgMaChine under fire as well. Gee, these mutas, they've achieved so much, but finally they're going down. And mutas are cleaned up. Now it's just this army. And can GgMaChine clean this up? He gets an Archon. He gets 1. Can he get the other? He wants it. Oh, he will get it. He will barely get the Archon. And with that, SKillous, he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. Running out of army. He's got more Zealots rallying across the map. No, we got a scout. We got a Corsair. We got to make them scouts. We got to get that bonus. True. Make the scouts. Oh, no. We'll get into the bonus after this as well, because I believe depending on how many games you play scouts, you get more and more money. So it does accumulate over time. It might also depend on how many scouts you make as well. I'll have to double check. Mate, SKillous printing money right now. Make them scouts. He's like, yes, keep making mutas. Keep giving me a reason to make scouts back. True, true. Let's go. GgMaChine helping SKillous out. Let's rotate. Cannon in position. And SKillous once again does go for a Zealot counterattack. We'd add another 13 probes. It's one of those things where SKillous has been losing a lot of workers, so his economy has been stifled. Likewise, GgMaChine hasn't been making workers, so likewise, doesn't have the best economy either, but he's now gotten into his Hydra transition. We have Hydra upgrades on the way, Hydra range, +2 range as well. It's getting there. Yes, for those that are curious, scouts do attack ground. They don't really have the best anti-ground attack, but it is available, unlike a Corsair. Scouts, they do zone. Likewise, more Overlords getting caught out. Supply blocking GgMaChine. Uh-oh. Zerg player supply blocks. Zelsay busts into the mineral line. A couple of workers. Nice hold position micro. Getting another 4 drone kills. And what have we been missing this entire time, especially with the Ling Hydra-based composition? Storm. Storm is on the way. Storm is almost done here for SKillous. Needs a little bit more time. It's like a tickle cannon, kind of. Again, just to reiterate, the Scout was recently buffed, has been improved in StarCraft Evolution to help with that. And we saw in the last game that at least harassment-wise against workers, they do a decent amount of damage. As mutas are being shut down. Likewise, this time GgMaChine he's taking up. We got the Hive on the way. We got the Lurker down on the way as well. He's teching. Does push. Here we go. SKillous moving in. How many High Templar does he have? 4. 4 High Templar, at least 4 Storms. There's plenty of energy. Moving in. Lurkers are on the way, but they're not ready. Yeah, they're barely not ready in time. Can he strike before the Lurkers? First Storm pops up. Oh, yes, Storms, they deny the Lurkers. Lurkers able to finish Scouts. They come in to reinforce. Massive Storms on the Hydras. And with that, GgMaChine, his army melts. His army just melts here. Almost every Hydra going down. Every Hydra falls. GG gets called. And SKillous, he will overwhelm. He will take the series 2-0. Whew. GG. GG, well played. SKillous, he will snowball out of control. Again, hyper aggression out of GgMaChine, going for the initial Bane bust, but thankfully SKillous, he did react in time, threw down a wall of shield batteries. He was able to defend, able to fortify himself. He came out ahead after the failed Bane bust. And then there was potential with the mutas. The mutas did make things awkward, that is true, but at the same time, GgMaChine wasn't droning. He wasn't really droning much alongside it, so even though he was killing workers, he wasn't making many himself. The economies were still very low. Tried to transition out into Hydra, into Lurker, but we saw he barely wasn't ready. Imagine if GgMaChine had another 20 seconds, had like some extra seconds here to finish up that line of Lurkers. Then he probably holds. He probably holds on, and then we get a longer game. But alas, not meant to be. Alas, not meant to be. With that, GG, SKillous does claim it. And let's take a look at the bracket and figure out where we are and where we are headed. Oh boy. Exclamation mark B in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves.